Hello, I'm Nancy Pearlman here in Burkina Faso's capital city, Ouagadougou, in one of the poorest countries in the world. A staggering 85% of the population does not have clean drinking water, and 1 out of 3 children die before the age of 10. Our Econews journey begins traveling through the countryside to see the work of volunteers trying to help establish wells to bring clean water to hundreds of thousands of people in this West African nation. Currently, most villages do not have a clean water supply, and most require the women to walk miles a day to bring a few gallons of dirty water to their families. The need for clean water wells is crucial. American volunteers are donating their time and money to make this possible.
My name is Pete Brockup. I work with Envision, which is part of the Christian and Missionary Alliance. All our problems, or many of our problems in Burkina, most of our problems is maybe the best thing to say, go back to water. Either water that's stagnated, that mosquitoes have larvae in, and they become malaria mosquitoes. And I don't know if you know the figure, but 3,000 children die a day in Africa of malaria. So when you start talking about the tsunami, or even the situation in Haiti, we have that almost every month. We have over 90,000 children that die of malaria, treatable disease. We actually have more babies, or less than 5, that die of waterborne diseases. And then of course, the other aspect is we don't have the water we need to be able to water our crops in order to grow enough food to feed people. The UN statistic is over 50% of our children are malnourished. The thing that I'm passionate about Burkina Faso, and as you go around, you're going to see this. You don't come here for the climate. You don't come here for the scenery. You come here for the people. The people are some of the most beautiful people on earth. They suffer with such grace. I become ashamed on a daily basis. They're scrappers. A lot of other people would have just given up and died, and they've refused. They just continue to claw and scrap, and they find joy. But I promise you, you'll see pure joy as you've never seen it before. It's not the result of having something. It's the joy of hope. I just love these people, and that's why I've chosen to give my life. We've been working in reforestation. A tree helps hold the moisture in the ground. It gives shade, and it really attacks the desertification of the Sahara moving south. We tried to plant trees that are beneficial to the Burkina Faso so that they are more motivated to help that tree live. One of the trees that we have been really encouraging is a tree called moringa. Moringa grows in just about any kind of dry area, and the leaves can be picked off, and if you take a leaf and you dry it and then you crush it into a powder, that leaf, if a child that's malnourished can get a spoonful of that powder from the leaf, in 2 weeks, all the symptoms of malnutrition go away. We have several different projects that we feel are addressing some of the problems here. And what we've done is we've tried to go right at the source of the problem. Obviously, the biggest need is water. We are trying to build 1,000 wells where we can get clean water to people. There's 2 kinds of wells, and this is kind of the big controversy. I think we've found some solutions to it. The deep water well, which costs about $7,000. The other alternative is been doing a lot of our efforts, and it costs about $1,800 to $2,000. And what we're doing, it's a hand dug well, and what's kind of neat about that is it's done by the community. We go into the community and say, we will help you get one, but you have to participate. As a community, they dig the well. We have one well where one of our churches is that is literally about 280, 290 feet deep. When you get down that far, the danger of it caving in on you and killing you while you're digging it is dangerous. The carbon monoxide is an issue. Here, When it rains, it's a blessing. And people run out that first rain. It's so much fun to be in Ouagadougou on the first rain. People just go out and dance and the water runs down your face and dust goes away and it becomes cool. I mean, it's joy of a first rain. And every time it rains, people here are happy. And then all of a sudden, it becomes a flood and we have people dying and people that lost everything. It was almost confusing to the human psyche because all of a sudden something that had been such a blessing had become such a curse. And the ground here is so hard, it doesn't absorb the water. The water runs. Other parts of the world where they can receive that kind of land, the ground just absorbs it and they're able to go on, but here it just builds up. When two pressures met, it rained for 8 hours here in Ouagadougou. And we have people lost everything. Found children that had not eaten in 2 or 3 days. Here there's such a theme of solidarity where everybody helps everybody. Our itinerary is set up really basically to see what has been done, and that what we're going to do basically. We're going to travel southwest. We have 6 different neighbors. We have Mali to the west, Niger to the east, and then we have Benin to the south, Togo to the south, Ghana, and the Côte d'Ivoire, that was also known as the Ivory Coast. Well, right now we're located here in the northern part of Ouagadougou, and we're going to take this road southwest towards Bobo, and we're going to go down to this town called Boromo.
Can you imagine walking around every single day of your life with an empty water bottle, wondering where you're going to get enough water to quench your thirst? This happens every day here in Burkina Faso. They have to walk miles just to get water to drink.
Even as we speak, there's a camp out here with 50,000 people that have no homes, that live in UN plastic bags, basically nailed to a wood frame just to keep them out of the water. And when the rain season comes, there's no way that's going to hold up. So we got 3 months to figure out what we're going to do, or we're going to have 50,000 people once again lose whatever little they were able to get back. Here we have 2 little girls. This is Renee and this is Remy, and they're 3 months old, and they were born in this camp. And statistics tell us that they have a 1 in 3 chance of not making it to age 10. And they're not a number. They're real people with real feelings.
Pump their own bucket and then the next person pumps
Their
her bucket? Because I notice it's girls, it's not women or men.
No. Here's my problem. I want you to look inside of this one. Does that look like clean? Would you drink water out of there?
Oh my gosh. There's no way to clean these inside.
That
Container
they sell cooking oil.
that they bought oil, they used the oil, and then they've converted it to water, but there's no way to clean inside as it gets dirty.
Right.
So you're trying to put clean water in, but it's getting contaminated immediately.
Right. We've spent $7,000 to bring in clean water, but then they go and pull something like this, and it doesn't do any good.
And how far will they carry this 50
It's hard.
pounds? I can hardly lift it just standing here.
In this town, they'll probably go at least 2 or 3 miles.
Oh, that's not easy. Whoa. Well, that's as far as I got. Whoa, that's heavy work.
One of the main things that makes us special is been here for 2 years. And previous to that time, all these people, a village of 4,000 people, were walking 3 miles to get their water. And imagine that on a daily basis, and now it's working 24 hours a day to bring these people pure drinking water on a regular basis.
It looks like a nice community gathering point also.
Yes.
But this pump is really special because it is able to get so much more water than some of the others.
The average pump gives 3 cubic meters an hour. This tops over 18.
This is Pastor Josias, and he's from the village of Wani. They had to go several kilometers to get water before, and now that they have this well in their village, all the villagers are coming for this water, and the villagers question them, why are you letting other people come besides your Christians to take your water? And they said, no, this well is for everybody. They too are excited about their well. They had been going 6 to 7 miles to get water every day. And he said everybody was tired in the village because it was almost an all-day thing every day to get water. And people were getting sick in the village from the water that they were bringing back from like a marigo, a stream-type source. And because they've been able to dig this well, they found a good source of water, and they have good drinking water. This was Pastor Timothy, and he was from the village of Mambo. This well here is actually my well. We actually lived with a dug well for 8 years here, and this was the water that we drank from out of this particular well. Some of the changes that I have seen in the medical area is the guinea worm. The guinea worm was very prevalent here because of people drinking out of stagnant pools and just wherever they could find a little bit of standing water. And now with these wells, there is no standing water. It is clear water, and in the area that we've been working in, there is almost no guinea worm at all. It's almost been eradicated in these specific areas where they actually have clear well water to drink from.
I just want to thank everybody here. It's been such a pleasure working with you. And I want to give you this sign that's going to go on all the wells that we put up. And basically what it says in French is God loves you. God's Son Jesus gives you the living water. Through him is eternal life.
This is an incredible experience. All these ladies are dressed up. They've put their beautiful scarves on. They're dancing. They're welcoming us in a traditional way. And it's just wonderful. And I think we need to have some more dancing.
Life is just to find food to be able to survive. 1 out of 3 of these children will die before they reach the age of 10. And 85% of this country does not have clean drinking water. We've got 21 wells, and if they can't be completed and paid for in the next month to 2 months, the rains will come down in the rainy season and collapse the other 13 wells. I committed a little over a year ago that somehow I would find a way to put 1,000 wells in this country. This year we will complete our 32nd well. Somehow I want to get to that 1,000. We're only talking $1.5 million. I've never known people that will give and to love.
When there's a watering hole, it doesn't matter what tribe you're from or how old you are or what religion you are, we all come together because life is water.
Ce n'est pas une grande armée qui sauve le roi. Ce n'est pas une grande force.
What we have here is the village of Dankwi, and they are in the process of digging their well, and they are digging down about 3 to 4 feet a day when they have a fairly decent soil. What they have here is that they've hit laterite, and we can see right here that they have this laterite brick. This is actually from out of the well, carved it into a brick, and they're going to use it for building. But this is what they've run into in this particular well, which is going to cause them only to dig maybe 2 to 3 feet a day because it's hard. And what you're going to see now is we're going to lower a couple of men down into this well, and they're going to begin to dig, and they will pull out the soil with a bucket. This is a well that they dug here in the village, just a hand-dug well, a small well, but as you can see, it is no longer usable. Right now, there is no water because it's dry season, but when the rains start, this well will fill up, and they will use the water out of this well, and that's where they're getting all their sickness from, is because they're using this, as we've explained, all the surface water runs in and contaminates this water. But it will fill up during the rainy season, and because there's water available, they'll use it, even though it's not good water.
People here have so little and need so much, yet they are gracious and generous by inviting us into their homes and feeding us the best food that they have.
And as you can see, this is a very dry land. And so they came out as a church, and since the month of February, which is now at 3 months later, they have been digging to try to get a well. They still have about 40 feet to go, and they've already dug 100. We don't have the funds at this time to be able to put in the cement leave that will keep it from caving in. Right now, as it stands, if the situation doesn't change, they will have done all this work. The rain's going to come in the next 2 months. It's going to wash this thing out, and all their work will be for nothing. Where you start to see the change in the landscape, you'll start to notice more of a lighter sand, and it's in dunes. This is the beginning, the real beginning of the Sahara Desert. Here we're in the village of Oursi, and Oursi is about 60 kilometers south from our most northern border in Burkina Faso. It's a village made up of Sangai, the slave tribe to the Tuareg, and then there's also Fulani. There's Fulani slave tribes. And the reason why this village is located where it is because right next to here is what they call the Pond of Oursi. Probably not more than knee deep, but it's pretty vast, and they're able to bring their animals in to drink pretty much all year long. There's even some water left now at the end of the dry season. But as the water goes down, there's little grass sprouts and stuff that start to come up, and that's what the animals eat. And the people here make their living by growing animals.
This looks like a clump of black tar.
Yeah, and yet right now at this time of year, it's the main staple what most of these families eat, and it's actually the source of a lot of vitamins.
It's actually the root of the lily.
It's a root that grows underneath the lily in the water, and it grows quickly because of the water, and so it can be cleaned off and boiled, and it becomes like a vegetable, almost like a potato.
Probably one of the most incredible experiences of my life, because we went down to see what these ladies down there were doing, and children, and they were actually dipping water from a dried up riverbed where they had dug a hole and were pulling out muddy, dirty water from this to take back to their village. That's what they were going to drink. And we got to talking with this lady, and the amazing part that I found out at that moment, she was from the Torag tribe. But my true dream is to bring water to everyone, no matter what their faith is, but to make this country a healthy nation. And that's the dream that I want to see come alive. And I'm not talking about 5 or 6 or 10 wells, but we've got to put thousands of wells over here to keep these people healthy and to keep them alive. And this is something that every individual, no matter how small or large amount, can make a huge difference.
She said, thank you just for coming and visiting and encouraging her. And the village chief said, yeah, all we really want is water. We asked, and they said that there's about 2,000 people that live in this village. The next source of water is 8 miles from here.
There are quite a lot of people here. Her family, her neighbors, all these children, did they get any schooling?
There's no schooling here, none. No schooling whatsoever, not even a Quranic school.
Any health care?
No health care.
No assistance from any international agency for water?
No, nothing.
They are on their own?
They're completely and totally on their own.
Mon Burkina Faso, que Dieu te protège. Mon Burkina, que le Seigneur te protège. Ceux-ci s'appuient sur leurs chars, ceux-là sur leurs chevaux. Et nous invoquons le nom de l'Éternel notre Dieu. Mon Burkina Faso, que Dieu te soutienne. Mon Burkina, que le Seigneur.
Merci beaucoup. I'd like to thank everybody on our team for making our trip here in Burkina Faso so fantastic. A bientôt. See you later.
A bientôt.
We have seen the dire situation that exists here in Burkina Faso. More help is needed to build clean, functioning water wells to improve the health and standard of living of these West Africans. On behalf of Econews and our nonprofit organization, Educational Communications, I'm Nancy Pearlman, wishing you a natural, unspoiled environment.